Yo, what's going on, everyone? He back again, ready for the Champions League in a couple of hours. We are like 4 hours away, so I wanted to quickly sneak this in before we get started. So I'm excited. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. But let's get into it. Let's get into Champions League talk. It's gonna be so sick. It's gonna be a fun Champions League. Obviously, last year PSG absolutely dominated Inter in the final, 5-0. So we're going to see how it's going to go this time around, and I'm excited for what it's going to look like. Let me just change my screen, and I'm going to show you guys um, who I think will be in in the 36 to 25. Then I'm going to split it up into the 24 to about 17, then 16 to 9, and then 8 to. And obviously, like, I don't know every team and where they're at and stuff like that. So I'm going to base it around what I know, and I asked ChatGPT if these guys versed each other, what the score would be. So I put it all in a calculator of the Champions League just to get an idea of what it would look like. So there are teams like Union Saint, Papos, like the Slavia. Not I know a bit about Slavia, like I know Bodo Glimt, but some of those teams where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna put them down at the bottom, and a lot of their games are tough anyways. There's a surprise team that I've put like quite. There's a couple that you're going to be shocked about. So let me know what you guys think. Um, but let me show you my ladder, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you what I reckon will be like top scorer, top assister, and all that. And let me know what you guys think. So let's get into it. So you can obviously see I'm predicting Barca to come first, and I'll explain that in a while, and I'll explain what I would move around here as well. But all of these guys, so quite simple. Bayern Leverkusen's draw, I would say, is pretty difficult. So I put them quite low with Ten Hag gone as well. Plus, um, a lot of their players have left. Like Jacques is gone, Grimaldo, um, Frimpong's gone. Like their team is our words. Obviously, that's a big one. A lot of their players have been dismantled. So I don't know where they'll be at. Bodo Glimt, I think I saw a draw or two for them. Ajax, Club Brugge is a team I really like. A lot of these Belgium guys, some of them have left. Um, some of these Greek guys, there was two. I think one of them's still there though, but I don't see it. Sporting, I could have put him maybe a bit higher, but again with the calculator, I was trying to put in what I assumed. PSV, same thing. Frankfurt is a little bit like a Brentford in the sense of like people are like, oh, Marmoush is gone and Ekatike, but I think they're still great. Like they just know how to bring up players all the time and the great players as well. I just don't see it. I don't see it enough, and I think they've got a bit of a tougher fixture than the other teams above. Then obviously with Monaco, and look, I think a little bit of bias towards Pogba playing for them now, so I think it'll be cool to see him. Olympiacos is a little bit of my team that I'm I'm just curious to see how they'll go. So I put them high up. I sort of just look. I back them a little bit. I think there'll be a little bit of a not a dark horse, but maybe a little bit of a dark horse. Same as Copenhagen. I think Copenhagen, um, if them going to places will be a bit of a struggle because I think their away fixtures are harder, but their home fixtures pretty good. But also teams struggle sometimes when they go there because of like the weather and stuff. Then Marseille, don't want to talk about it. It's like low key criminal FC. Galatasaray with Sane, their Aussie man, like they've got some great players playing for them. So I'm excited to see how they go. Atalanta, I know a lot of people have been rating them lower. I still think that they're a great team. I think that they're a strong team, and yeah, that's my thought about them. Then I'm going Benfica. I really like Benfica. I know they've sold a lot of their players as well, but I think the core ones are there, and I think they'll still do well. Dortmund was the one I was a little bit disappointed with their transfer window, with who they signed and who they sold. I just don't think. I feel like the last couple of years they've really, since the Champions League final till now, you would think that after the Champions League final they would like build themselves up, but no, they haven't. Atletico is the one I also rated real low. Just with, I know everyone will say it's the start of their season. I don't think it's their new signings. I think it's the way they play, and I think it's Simeone now. I think he needs to go. I think it's getting too much for him now as well. Athletic Club, I think will be sick with the William boys running down the flanks. I think these guys will be doing well. Villarreal is the team I'm most excited about. I think that even with their the sellings that they've made, I think they've brought in some great players. Pepe's playing like prime Messi right now. It's going crazy. I've really enjoyed Villarreal so far this season. Like they honestly could have taken points off every team. They're not obviously on out of the 4 games. They're not on 12 points, but they when I've watched them, they've been brilliant. Then I've got Newcastle. Obviously, with the selling of Isak, I think these guys are still class. I think their midfield is what is so strong about them, and I think that's what helps them a lot of the time. Their defending line is actually quite like fairly good if everyone's fit. Their forward lines I'm a bit hesitant about, but playing at St James's Park will be the difficult one. So that's why I put him there. Juve, I was stuck between which way. And I was like, maybe I'll let the decider be on the game. So Juventus, I'll promote you by 1 point. I'm just gonna let it decide on that. But obviously Inter and Juve played against each other, and it was cool to see the brothers play against each other. But I think Inter have not really improved. The Kanji's just not enough for what they needed, and most of their players are like they're already an old team, the oldest team to play in the quarterfinal, semi-final, and the final in the Champions League in all of history. And it's like they've all gotten a year older, and you've got rid of Pavard and brought a Kanji, and it's like just not at Juve. I think have been playing well with like what's his name, Locatelli played really well against Inter, played very great defensively. Thuram played well in that midfielding line. Bremer played phenomenally with 2 assists as well, but great game overall. Um, yeah, Openda and Jonathan David. I'm excited to see how they go. Vlahovic just moved to another teammate, and Yildiz, what a baller! Big fan of him. I'm so excited to watch him a lot this season. Then we're going to go to Napoli. Napoli, the winners, De Bruyne, McTominay. I think De Bruyne's he's got the heritage in the Champions League, but then McTominay's just been phenomenal for them. I think seeing them together, I'm curious to see how Højlund will play without United. I hope he does well because I think it should be hilarious. Um, do I rate him? Not really, but that's what it is. Tottenham. Tottenham could have made my top 8. Honestly, I think their fixtures plus some of their players that they've signed, and with Thomas Frank, I think Thomas Frank is a top manager. But when I did it on the calculator, I just don't think it was enough. But again, I think from here to about here, it wasn't too far off. But to be fair, around this area, like from I think ninth to first, wasn't too far off in general. Um, Obviously, I've got Man City in eighth. I think they will struggle. I think they will struggle. I don't think it will be a perfect record for them. I think they're still getting used to it now in the quarterfinals and later on. I think these guys will actually step up. I think because there's not much focus on them, as in besides like everyone saying they're not good enough. I think they'll build up towards that. I think Bayern Munich. I'm not a massive fan of Company, but I think he's got class players, and by the time like Musiala comes back, some of the other players come back. I think these guys will be ready to go as the season goes by. So I've got them. Chelsea have a pretty good fixture, but again, I think that it's just not enough to make to go any higher. I think that there's still a lot that they need to work on. If João Pedro gets injured, I just don't see them doing anything with that. Like especially with um, Gu coming in, like it's just like the striker, like just not good enough. PSG, the reason why I had to change my ratings around is because, and I know it might seem a little bit like it's just because of injuries, but Dembele out, Doué out, Kvaratskhelia, um, Lee out. Not that he's like, but they've got like 5 forwards injured, and midfielders are great, defenders are great, but man, like I just saw too many injuries that I think that the first maybe 2 games could be a real struggle for them. Not that the other games they can't pick up, but I think that's why, and I think there'll be some games that they might not be as perfect as now Madrid. I've seen a lot of people put them here. Like I've watched different people. I've listened to different podcasts. There's friends of mine who have put him over here or even over here. You never underestimate Madrid. I think it's a new Madrid team. I think Mbappe is killing it. I'm going to speak a little bit about him later on. but absolutely tearing it to bits. And I think Madrid will do great. I think everyone's exaggerating about, oh, Madrid, this is Madrid. I'm a Barca fan, and I think Madrid are like going to tear it to bits. My only worry is with Dean Huijsen out. Rudiger's out for 3 months. If Dean Huijsen, anything happens to him, I think they're screwed. Like, I think that they'll really, really struggle. Like, Tchouaméni can play centre back with Militao, but it's not his natural position, and then you can't go Asensio because he's not been great. Then I've got Liverpool. Liverpool have a harder fixture, but I think they've got too much class to for any of that. One thing I've noticed with like a lot of these football teams, besides maybe Arsenal and yeah, maybe just even Arsenal, City's defense line not that great. Bayern's defense line not that great. Chelsea's not that great. Great, yeah, fair enough. Maybe them and Arsenal. Madrid's line not that great. Like as in centre back wise, not great. Yes, you've got Carvajal and Alexander Arnold, and then Carreras. But if he goes out, Mendy's not great. Fran Garcia is not great. Um, Centre backs Dean Huijsen. Militao depends like how fit he'll be, but he's had two ACLs, one on each leg, so not that great. Liverpool's defense line, Van Dijk goes out. Canate's head's already in Madrid. So it's like you need a Leone is not ready enough. He's so young. I just don't see it. Not that great. Frimpong at the moment is playing like a plays like a right winger, so I just think that that might be a struggle. Obviously, Kirkes hasn't had the best start of the season. Again, I know it's all fair, and yes, some of these guys have great keepers. Like Donnarumma has had a great start um, to the season. Arsenal's defense, 10 out of 10, and Barca's defense without Martinez. But I said this in my last video. Martinez or Garcia, who would have I chosen? I would have chosen Garcia. So that's my thoughts. Anyways, Arsenal, I think they've got probably the easiest fixture out of everyone. I think it's fairly, I mean, them and Barca have fairly straightforward fixtures. Now you could say, oh, you're a Barca fan, of course you're going to put them first. Well, yeah, like obviously there'll always be like a 1% bias towards it. But also, we do have an easier fixture. Like and not to say it's super easy, but like Newcastle will be a hard game. I reckon we'll get 3 points. PSG will be a hard game, but with the amount of injuries, I reckon we'll get 3 points. Chelsea might be a draw, but and maybe the last game of the season will draw, but I just think that I think we will come first. That's my honest opinion, and you can tell me what you think. But let's go into just some of the things that I've written down, and I know I hate that it does this. I wish it was spread out more. So, who will win the whole Champions League? Who will win the whole Champions League, and who could I see going to the final? Look, we don't know how the thing will come together. I would love it to be an El Clasico final or a Barca PSG, or I mean, depends on how we go against them. Or I think my ideal is not even Barca Madrid because I think we could like I would be pretty confident with that. I would love it to be Barca Liverpool, which is what I reckon it will be, and I reckon obviously Barca will win it. I think um, just listening to some of the I think it was Unai Emery who said that football is less like everyone can read everyone's game tactic now. Like everyone can read everyone's game tactic, and now it's also not only dependent on that, it's dependent on your fitness, obviously, like your health, but a huge part is your individual brilliance. And in the Champions League, Rafinha is phenomenal, Pedri phenomenal, game changers. But Lamine Yamal more than anyone else is a game changer, and I truly believe Rashford will be that guy as well. I truly believe Rashford will come into his place where he will clutch up, and I just think that take every player and I would put midfielders Bellingham and Pedri would be the biggest game changers in the middle, and we've got one of those, and Mbappe and Lamine Yamal, and that's why I think we will win because I think we've got still a better team, a stronger team, and I love the way we're going. My overachievers is Villarreal. I think these guys will go far. I think these guys are being overlooked, and I like that. I like that La Liga teams, and it's funny because all three of my top three are like as in winners, overachievers, underachievers are all um, La Liga guys. Because my underachievers has to be Atletico Madrid. I don't really rate them honestly. Like I just when their signings so far have been amazing, but it just feels like they're still playing like the old system, and with some of the players that they've signed, just that doesn't look great. And I think Julian Alvarez is now injured, so that won't be great. But let's talk about the player of the tournament. Who will carry everything? who will be the man, who will be the guy who will everyone will go, that is the player of the tournament, and I've got Mr. Lamine Yamal. I think this guy was close to, if we won the final, he would have been it. I think we were so close, like seconds away, but I'm going to give it to Lamine Yamal. I think that the top goal scorer will be Erling Haaland. Now, it was between him or Mbappe. I'm not going to, it was super close. I chose him because I think some of their games that they play, I think he'll score 5 goals. Honestly, I reckon 2 of the games he'll score 5 goals. I know it sounds like or 4 or 5 goals. Okay, maybe let's say 4. 4 for both games. I think this guy is cracked, and I think he can do it. Then top assister, Lamine Yamal. I think this guy, he's Trivella, the way he reads Rafinha, the way he reads Lewandowski, the way I reckon he will read Rashford when they get to play together more. I think that will be it. Now, I want to talk about 5 players that I'm most excited to see besides Lamine Yamal. Like, cause he's my favorite. He's not my favorite player, but he's already on here, so I don't want to put him on again. I mean, it seemed a little bit unfair. But the 5 players I'm most excited to see, and I could only pick 5. I wanted to pick more. I wanted to pick like 10. Maybe I'll do it 11 of most excited players. I'm like starting 11 of most excited players. For me, Pedri's number 1. I love Pedri. I love every part of the way he plays his game. I love that he's a playmaker. I love that he's integrated shooting into his game. I love that he's a game changer. He's hardworking. He just reads the game better than anyone I've seen. Second one, Mbappe. Mbappe so far, season start has been a 10 out of 10. He has carried this Madrid team. He's working so well with Arda Güler, and I think it's so cool to see. I mean, for Barca fans, I hate it, but it is cool because it's good football, and I love good football more than anything. Then my next one would be Elise. I think Elise is going to show England, um, Bundesliga, sorry, Germany, but also the French team. And I know I've heard it a lot, and I can definitely see it where it's Lamine Yamal, Salah, Saka, and Elise. And everyone's like, yeah, Saka's going to move and Elise's going to step in. I think Elise will make top 3, but I don't think it's the order. I think it'll be Lamine Yamal, and then it'll be tied between Saka and Elise. And I genuinely reckon Salah's not going to be the same guy that he is. Do I still have him in my EPL fantasy? Of course I have, because I'm not an idiot. Do I think he will be the same player? I don't. And I truly think that closer to AFCON, when we remove him from fantasy and he comes back, I don't think he'll be the player. And I could be wrong. I feel like I said this 2 years ago, but that's what I think. The next player is my favorite PSG player, is Desiree Doué. Sorry, if you saw Vinny, I'm not picking Vinny. Is Desiree Doué. What a great footballer. What a brilliant footballer. I'm excited to see when he gets back from his injury, and I'm sad that he's injured because I really like him. But yes, obviously you saw him in the final. You've seen him. You just watch him, and he's brilliant footballer. So far 4 players. My last one is not more about his footballing abilities because he's got great footballing abilities, but with everything that he did to everyone, it was like every day you check Fabrizio to see what was going on. And that is Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak, show us why you are the man. Show us, because we're all waiting for it. We are all waiting for it. So show us. Ekatike right now is killing it. Don't let him take your spot and then you become the backup, which I don't think you will, but mate, don't be the flop. But that's my thoughts. I think Barca will win it. I think Lamine Yamal will be player of the tournament. And let me know what you guys think. Would love to hear from you guys. But I'll catch you guys in the next video.